It's getting there. And there you go.
And action.
Hey there, Tribe. Welcome back to another Live from the Mines of Moria here at Tribal Edge. We'll have a few more of our Tribal Edge peeps coming in here in a little bit. But Brian, say hi to the tribe.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Get yourself a toddy and hang out with us for as long as you can, and
Yeah, absolutely.
and watch us do what we do here in the what Chuck calls the mines.
Yep.
The Mines
So,
of Moria.
what are you going to be working on tonight here?
Okay, so I'm on to a new project, and I'm working on a carry.
Yep, never did carry. All right.
Yep, and whatnot. So just getting ready to got my template all done from the other day. So I'm ready to go to steel. So we'll do that. We'll get it rough cut. I'm gonna get some stuff done for Chuck as well, and we'll take that as far as we can take it tonight, and so on and so forth. So you bet.
All right. And tonight I'm going to actually be working on the memorial blade for Jack Dawson. I've got it set up over here in the jig. I'm just dialing in the angles to start with here. And we're going to see how far we can get that. Hopefully we'll get it right down to polish and start doing our etching tonight.
Twist it. Ooh.
Absolutely here. So I actually have it zeroed on the work surface, and now I'm checking the angle here. We want to be right around the 93 plus or minus for our starting point, and then I'll adjust it as we go. So stay tuned, and we'll give you updates as we go. Please don't hesitate to ask questions. And if you haven't checked it out, we still have blades left from the fire sale. We'll be reposting with what's left as well. So if you're looking for a great deal on a great blade, check it out. Other than that, let's get to work.
Right.
I'm going to set you guys down for a second, and
Okay.
I'm going to connect to the Facebook. So
I'd like to do that too.
I'm going to...
If you want to do something,
Oh, he got it.
All right.
He's got a vodka
I
cranberry.
brought me a little bottle of Tito's and some cranberry.
Nice.
We'll do that.
Vodka cranberry.
Yep, vodka and cranberry. The
Bourbon.
Cucumber water.
Yeah, cucumber soda water.
Soda water.
Yeah.
Kira's got, I think she's got some tacos or something going
I'm making
upstairs
some
in the Instapot.
tacos. Yup.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to make carnitas, but I don't feel like doing whole eggs carnitas.
Before I get started, I'm going to hit the restroom real quick, and I'll be ready to roll.
I'm going to point it directly at you.
I'm sharing out on my Facebook. And then we'll get to work, I promise.
This is the beginning, I feel like, of every live. It's like, hi guys, give us a sec. We'll be right with
That's
you.
right. We as professionals. All right, I shared out.
I am on my Facebook. I need to search for. And by the way, guys, if you can, it would be wonderful if you're watching the live, if you would share it out. It's just exposure, you know. The more friends, the better.
Absolutely. All right, so I've got mine going right there. And I'm going to get this going.
Okay.
Scott Claus and Danathan said they were coming tonight.
Yeah, well, you know how Dan is with his.
Yes, I do.
Dan will show up anytime between now or later.
That's right.
Well, you have a second before we actually get everything started. Why don't you show everybody the shop renovations?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this has been kind of an ongoing process, and a friend of mine, Marty, who I work with and recently retired, does a lot of woodworking on the side. So he actually has designed for me and built these rolling carts that we jokingly call it the Tetris shop because we're staying here for a while, we want to make the best use of the space as possible. And so we've been slowly going from big workbenches to movable carts, which not only makes it easier to clean,
Oh, it's flashing.
it also helps with being able to space things out. So if we get two people, that are just working a little too close, we can push them apart a little bit, and we can space things out and move things around. So this has been Really amazing to be able to do for the shop. And a couple more carts, and I think we'll be set because I want to get both of the drill presses on one cart. And I also want to get one more bandsaw I want to get up and mount it as well. But yeah, so it's been kind of cool to be able to do this slowly over time and watch the evolution. All right, back to you.
It is starting to flash again. It was not doing it while...
Grr.
Would you not? It was not doing it the whole time. And then you walked over that way. All the testing I did beforehand, I walked through the entire shop to make sure. And it didn't do it anywhere. And then you grabbed it, and I swear to God, you and Grandma, you guys have a magic touch.
I'm cursed. I am cursed. I am that. All right, so this is all dialed in, and I think we're going to get my gloves.
CAND. Why?
And you've got the frame rate area all set?
I put it up, and then I walked around, and it didn't flash. And then, because I changed the pixels from 720 to 480. So, by the way, guys, if it's a little bit grainy, I apologize. I thought this would fix the thing. But I changed the pixel level, and I'm going to take that step. So I changed that, and then I went through, and it wasn't flickering. So it's actually on the higher, whatever it is.
The higher frame rate and pixel rate?
Yeah.
It does it worse?
But yeah, it doesn't do it. I didn't change it now. So I don't know. I don't know how to say words, apparently.
Wording is difficult. It's almost as difficult as adulting.
I don't have Scott or Brian on my Facebook, so I can't. Ooh, I gotta put Wallace in there. Hello! It's so delightful to see you.
How you doing, Sarah?
Good, you?
I'm here.
Uh-oh, that don't sound too good.
Oh, yeah, it's actually very good. 'Cause I'm not there, I'm here.
This is true.
Which makes all the difference in the world.
You'll be somewhere.
All right, I gotta turn the blowy thing on.
That's fine. I did think it was very quiet in here.
It's like, I'm suddenly quiet.
I can move my stuff. I don't need that space if you're... I don't know where to put anything. Everything's been moved.
Yeah. Somebody can't leave well enough alone, can they?
No, I cannot.
He's just like my mother with the rest of the house. I think this is probably the cleanest of his rooms in the house, actually.
He has multiple rooms?
Well, his bedroom and this
I
one.
blame your mom. I was gonna say she rubbed off on me, but we'd all take that the wrong way.
Yeah, the
So I
wrong
won't say
way.
that. You mean the way?
Yeah, the way. The Pippin way.
That's right.
This is the way.
I have spoken. So yeah.
And that's Damascus, yeah?
Yep, 416 layer.
I don't know if you guys can see. Let's see if I can rock that
Hot.
a little bit. Is it? I got kitchen hands.
You
There's a
do.
couple of little layers like right in here. It's super pale, so it's hard to see. But
As we get up to the finer grits, because this is like an 80 grit belt I have on here right now just for stock removal. As you have the finer grits, actually, that will become more and more prevalent. And hopefully we'll get to do a test edge tonight, maybe.
at some point tonight, don't forget to tag them.
That one's all better.
Don't forget to tag.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Make that one before one's all the others.
I'd say try that one first. But if that one gives you hassle, I'll change out the blade on it, okay? Not to get loud, folks. I love the Banshee bandsaws.
Banshee bandsaws.
Yep.
You
Set this down.
finish etching that one?
No, I actually took it out, and when I moved the shop around, so it's etching again. Huh? Yeah, I had to take it out. Yeah, I took a copy of it.
How many times is that? How many times is that, Bert?
That's the coffee etch.
Yeah, I got the right edge done for mine, and then I started working on the shop. Okay. What you working on today, Scott?
Getting another one ready for the.
All right.
Let's see.
You want the boom on?
Can I?
Yeah.
And your jig, I think,
Oh,
is
God.
still
These
in
are always
there.
so
Yeah,
heavy.
right there. Okay. Okay, you got it. Perfect.
That is what Santa Claus will be working on. I don't know if you guys can see some of the Damascus.
I'm working on the master today. This is a memorial blade.
Just because blade or what? What is that one?
This one's a memorial blade. For my friend's last and last tonight.
Oh, the one down south.
Yep, you got it. You're starting to do dances like on examination.
Huh? Probably one.
Who do we normally have stop in? That I might be friends with on Facebook.
What's that?
I said, who do we normally have come in?
Well, Brian is usually in. Eddie's been on, I believe.
Eddie? I'm trying to think who I'm friends with so I can tag them. And you can do the same thing. If you put it in the chat, tag somebody. Like, because I don't have Brian or Scott on Facebook. Here's Dan arriving on Dan time.
What is up with this? There's something wrong with your neck? Look at that.
What happened?
Fell on my skateboard.
You have like a flat eye a little bit too.
I gotta let the screen anyway.
Yeah, make sure you get a little bit of sawdust or like metal it. Oh my god. Your hand too? It's okay. I literally ran into a parked car the other day. I was running with Athena and wasn't paying attention to where I was going, but I was paying attention to her because I had her off leash. And I legit jogged directly into the car. Jordan's like, I am so surprised you didn't set the car alarm off. Like, I hit it, bounced, and rolled. I was gonna message him, but I can't on my phone now.
Oh, my
So I'm gonna see if he would.
I will, yeah.
I tagged a bunch of people, so if you want to tag Scott and Brian, I said I tagged a bunch of people already, so if you want to tag like Brian and Scott on
You
there.
can actually like add everyone, I think.
Oh, stop. Hey, we got me matched. I'm wearing mine. Matched. Yeah. I also want you to go through and I want to show you how to add all your Facebook friends to the invite list. So you can invite your friends. That's what I've been doing. If someone's going to invite It's only 100 at a time. And 5,000 that's on Facebook at one time. But you can go through all of your friends on Facebook at one time and on the side messaging and add suggestions to like the page and put it in that way. Okay. So, what are you going to be working on tonight? I came over to talk to him about. So what are you going to be doing tonight?
I've got these two that I glued up last time I was here. And so I will be shaping these handles.
So that's purple and blue acrylic.
Yes, they're both acrylic. That is a blue and red, and that is a weird thing. So this will be a little bit of a discount weight because I got the grind wrong on this. So I just kind of threw a needle on it and see how it comes out. You never know. What you imagine? So yeah, that's what I got going on tonight.
All right, guys, I'm going to set you back down again for just a minute. I'm going to start playing with some settings on Facebook, see if I can't tag everybody and let them know that we're all here. But if you guys give me a couple of minutes, I will make sure I go ahead and make my rounds. But enjoy the sounds of the stop screaming. Let's go over here. Woo, stop. That's being
Hey, Al.
we were doing that for your page, so it didn't work, but the 511 page jumped in. So I made sure to do that. Thank you. I don't know why I did that. I'm gonna go up and see if anybody upstairs is gonna clear one or nothing like that. What's the difference between what happened when you started and now?
So basically, I'm using an 80 grit to just rough remove the initial stock for the bevel, and now I'm going to move to a 120 grit, and I'm going to start pushing this line back so we get kind of a distal taper, which will drive the weight back towards the handle, which will balance it better.
All right. And now we visit. Got a dog. So Brian's cutting notches into the steel to make it easier around the first part of the blade handle. I apologize for the noise. And the flashing. So real quick, since you have two of you working on them right now, what is a bevel grind?
So a bevel grind, actually, a
You
bevel
guys-
grind, when we
They can see you anywhere, it doesn't matter. I got you. There we go.
Okay, so when we start, the way we do it right now is we will start with a piece of flat stock that's been heat treated and tempered, and with the thinner steels, because I like to cold grind with the thinner steels. That's less prone to warp then. But we start with it like this, and so if you can see it, both sides are parallel. In order to get that edge that we want, we have to grind the bevel, depending on the blade, at a certain degree. So now I've taken what started off as this, and you can see we're starting to grind it away. I happen to have this set at 93 degrees, and you can see how much we've taken off already. Yep. So these were actually from essentially the same piece of Damascus. So what we're going to do is we're going to take it down from 80 to 120 to 220, and then we'll start polishing it and prepping it for etching. We don't take it all the way to an edge though.
So what's the purpose of a bevel grind?
The purpose of the bevel grind is to give you your edge geometry, and that depends on the type of blade. So a kitchen knife, we're going to try to get to as close to the 0 point edge as we can. That means a minimal secondary edge bevel. With a bushcraft, we might leave it a little bit more obtuse so that it doesn't roll when we're trying to chop down saplings or something like that. So it's one of those things that goes back to intentional design. That is what determines the kind of the angle on your bevel. Yes.
hopefully moving the microphone around is actually going to help a lot better. So you guys can hear, and maybe subtitles will work a little bit better. If there's something in particular that you guys would like to see, I can't really mess with them while they're on the machine. Maybe these two, they might just lose a little skin. Those guys will lose fingers over there. So Scott's dipping the blade in the water to make sure that while he is grinding down on the blade that he doesn't overheat it and essentially like warp or burn or do anything that might cause it to have any sort of issues when he actually goes to use it.
What's that?
Nothing, Scott. You're
Talking to
doing.
me?
I'm saying you're doing.
Talking to me?
I'm saying you're doing everything right, like always. Okay.
I have to start
What's
teaching
that
him.
smell?
I have to start teaching him now.
Yes. Oh yeah. Nice. I wish that the quality of the camera was really good. The thing so you can pick up the lines in the Damascus.
Oh.
That's beautiful. I took it a little bit more back here,
Yeah.
but that
So
is
I'm going to do the other side
gotcha,
to get it
yeah.
and kind of work from there.
that's looking really good, Scott.
See? Always doing everything right, Scott. Not like Mr. I forgot to glue my handles that one time.
What?
What?
What? I only messed it up a little bit.
There's no mistake you can make that you can't fix, Dan.
Oh, I don't know about that. See, I used to down the gauntlet.
All I keep going back to is why do you have Swiss cheese for a handle?
You're the one that keeps that working thing alive. Oh, yeah.
All Scots are awesome. It's just fast.
Stop one.
No, what's the problem? Oh, make sure you twerk.
The twerking thing would have been forgotten like 2 months ago, except for Scott. He's keeping the twerk. He's keeping the twerking deal alive, man.
Whoa. Let's keep it like rated NC-17 at least. You're backing it up a little too much there.
Scott's like, you know what? If we ain't working, I ain't coming.
So what are you doing now?
I just finished rough cutting mine. I finished rough cutting that piece of Damascus for your dad.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to probably get
That's yours?
back
Yep.
to mine and probably get on the belt and get her smoothed out.
Have you decided what kind of handle material you're going to use?
I have not.
Oh. That's like half the hardest part.
Right, so, right. Figure I get not ready for that and then make a decision on that.
Yeah.
Couple ideas.
I was wondering if that was it over here.
No,
That
it's
is-
not. I don't know.
That's really cool.
That's set up for somebody. That might be set up for your dad.
Who knows?
But no, not mine. Hey, Brian, the Thunder is ready for you. That's what you said to a year or two, or not worry about that. Thank you for cutting it.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll take a quick break. Be right back.
Right. After a message from our sponsors.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, Anna.
Oh,
Check.
Wait, Bill.
That was nice.
are those mosaics?
Yeah, mosaic. You can open it up. Go ahead.
Dan can't open up anything.
I need
So
a
that-
knife.
So that's going to be, these are going to be for my hair that I'm working on now, right? And then I'm going to do one
Is
for,
that a deer head?
yeah,
I'm gonna steal it so I can
Yeah,
look
go
at my
right ahead.
phone real quick.
you got it.
I don't know if you guys can see that. Kind of hard to get it into focus. See if I can get it closer. No. Yeah, so on the inside of here, there is a little deer. Well, a buck, not a deer. But yeah. That's really neat.
Right. Right?
That's a really cool idea for a hunting knife
Right.
too.
Right. Right. So that's my plan.
I love mosaic pins though.
Down to 120 grit now. I'm not sure if that'll show up any better.
Not sure if you guys can see. They're real pale down a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah, up and down from there. Yeah, they're real pale. Obviously, they come out more with the etching,
Yeah.
but it's really
It's a 220.
see. And then Dad, I almost called you Dad. That's got the same. I'm not really sure if you guys can make out the mask there, but I'm gonna step out of the way so I don't catch on fire. And as always, gratuitous sparks. Like if you can, get those in. Gratuitous sparks.
It's funny because before heat treat, there's not nearly as many. After heat treat, it's like a sparkler show.
I don't know if you have that clamp down tight enough. I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to move like that.
I like to give it a little movement while I'm working, just so it's,
It was-
That's vibrating.
I was gonna say, it's not just vibrating. It was literally moving around the corner of the
It's,
table.
it's my creative process. I can do this.
Secret technique.
It's all about fluidity and
You
movement.
gotta swim with it, baby. Swim with it.
And I'm gonna walk away, and we're gonna pretend that never happened. Dan definitely did not just drop his knife on the floor because it wasn't clamped tight enough. That definitely did not happen.
I think your clamp is broken, Chuck.
Yeah, it must be the clamp.
Got the lug nut behind it.
Hey.
So this one's ready for
Definitely
220
not the one
now.
that tightened it down.
Yeah, not user error. Not
Not
user error.
user error.
So yeah, I'm ready to go to 220, which is a kind of a pre-polishing belt. And then we'll go on to Scotch Brite.
Oh, wow, that's being super reflective. May I?
Yep.
See if I can't get this little bit of Damascus to show up. Nice and slow. They're super pale. So what is the difference between your first bevel and your secondary bevel?
So the first bevel, I typically is kind of like the one. Okay. So the primary bevel is the one that we grind in that kind of gives the blade its edge geometry. The secondary bevel is where we actually put the edge on. In some cases, you can get what's called a 0-point edge, where that is the primary bevel just goes right down into the edge. And a lot of katanas that are used for like live cutting or tamashigiri often have a 0-point edge. Some kitchen knives also have a 0-point edge. The first time you have to sharpen them, it's gone, but usually it's just such a minimal secondary edge at that point that it doesn't really matter. But this one's definitely going to have that secondary bevel when we go to sharpen it.
So your first bevel is the one that brings like some of the weight down.
Yeah, and pushes the balance back and
Okay, and
stuff
then
like
the
that.
secondary one actually is putting the edge.
Yep, that's the one where you'll get the feather on the edge that you want to strop off, and then that's your cutting edge.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're gonna probably, if you watch this live regularly enough, you probably will have all the knowledge that I have about knife making because I have heard this 10,000 times. I'm not complaining, just to be perfectly clear.
It's almost like listening to, how'd you get into it, Chuck?
Yeah, Scott goes, yeah, it's definitely the clamp. It's not user error.
So who goes on, Kara?
Right now, you, me, Mom, Scott, I don't really, it's hard to tell. You don't really
Yeah.
let me know. I know that Cindy was on, Brian's wife.
Oh,
hi,
Cindy. Cindy was on.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Jeremy was on. I don't
Hi,
know.
Cindy.
I'm not sure,
Say
but
hi if you're on.
yeah, that'll be in 10 minutes. But either way,
It was in the kitchen cooking, so she probably
had it in
watching
the
that
background.
cooking, so maybe she's still on.
This is the handle you picked out.
Oh, that Cindy did?
Yep.
Is she on?
She was
Oh.
earlier. I don't know for sure now. It's really hard.
Wow.
Cindy, if you're here, definitely say, oh yeah, she's here.
Look how beautiful that came
Cindy's
out.
here.
You can
Oh.
actually see some of the Damascus.
Right, look at the Damascus too, honey.
Ryan's making you another knife.
Oh, it's
Too bright.
Here, let me see that real quick. Let me get it away from the flashlight.
Good pick. Good pick.
So hopefully that will give you a better.
And Damascus. She likes the Damascus too.
Oh, the glitter
Nice
in
job,
that's
man.
really, really cool.
Nice job, Cindy. That was a good pick.
I like the comment about saging the workshop. I really do. No, I'm working on fixing some of the settings for the camera, which is, I'm not an AV person. I literally can barely operate my phone on most days, so I'm still learning. But glad you're still here, Jeremy.
Yeah, that came out real nice, Tim. That's what it did.
Oh, Kara.
Yeah? I cannot pick up my phone. Sorry, guys.
This is 220. Look what's starting to emerge.
Oh, yeah.
Can you see that?
Oh,
Yeah.
I can kind of make it out. I never
Starting to
make
see
it out
some
from
waves.
there.
Yeah.
I actually can make you some kind of sleeves
Yeah.
right there in the center. There's a nice thick wave line.
Yeah, I think it's going to end up being a nickel.
Right through here,
Yeah.
there's a really nice little wave line.
So this one's going to be a nice vivid pattern when we're done, I suspect.
Do you mind if I show them the picture that you?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So as you guys know, we have a couple of neck knives. Obviously not this one. This one I got from the Ren Fair from Bodker. I'm pretty sure, was he the one that was at the Ren Fair, Bodker?
Yes. Yep.
So I got this from him. But either way, so we recently had, my dad and I were talking about how nice it is to have neck knives, especially for women who are worried about like protection when they're walking home late at night, or even just something really, really cool in general. I'm a big fan of punch daggers, but these work really, really well as neck knives as long as they're kept very low profile. So we're actually thinking about using this as a new design, something that we can turn into a neck knife, probably put the lanyard either here or we'll put it in the little sheath so that, when you go to pull it out, it'll just pop right out. And instead of keys, who doesn't want a little push dagger? So if you really love your wife or your girlfriend or any of your significant others, I'm not pushing it. I'm just saying, who doesn't want a freaking push dagger? Although I'm also a big fighter of the ring blades. So.
Tell the truth. You challenged me to that one.
Okay, so the story behind that was I was sitting outside and I was like, I really like the neck knives, but you know what I think would be even cooler is if we could do like a punch dagger version of it and keep it small and low profile. Yeah. Something that a woman wanted to wear, she could wear it like here on her chest and it would be low profile enough that it's not going to be uncomfortable for her to wear or them to wear. It doesn't have to. I was speaking from my experience as a woman, but in lieu of holding keys, like I said, but yeah, I was like, it'd be really cool if we could have a small neck knife, like a push dagger or something like that. So.
Easy accessible, lightweight, and can be carried in a number of different fashions.
Yeah, and that's the one great thing I will say, speaking of, because the talk about it topic, Kydex, we could make it into a neck knife, and you just put a lanyard through it. Or if you don't want it with a lanyard, you can always have a clip or a chain, or you can have a little leather strap on it. That's one of the things I think is the best thing about Kydex.
Yeah,
is that
like it's
super, super versatile.
Super lightweight, low printing, not super obvious.
It's just a big start.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know if I don't have something tight on this belt. I've never had trouble with it before.
Okay, so part of the problem here is that I moved it. So this one moved off the tape on the other one, and I don't know.
When I turned it on the belt,
Hold that down for me a little bit there, would you?
All right. Go back over there.
No.
Visit Murphy real quick.
That should be better.
Shake it, baby.
Shake and bake. What does that even mean?
It means shake and bake. What do you think it means?
I apologize for the flashing. Hold on, let me see if I can fix that. There we go. I think it's a reflective thing, which when you're working with steel and things like that, it is not an easy problem to fix. I don't really seem to pick up a whole lot of that flashing until I'm right next to a piece of steel.
I didn't move that back either. Sorry. right.
I love it when things come together. We're ready to polish. We'll grab a Scotch spray.
Yo, what Brian's doing.
Warm.
I took it back and it's hard. It's good right there.
So, the heck with the girls. I want one. You know what? I'm pretty sure Ryan Wetero, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, but I'm pretty sure you're the reason that I even came up with the push dagger thing in the first place. Because I have multiple drawings from years and years and years ago, and I kind of just let it go. And now I'm like obsessed with the idea ever since yours. Steve Perry was asking if you'd ever done a push dagger, but with only one edge.
You know, I've only done one other push dagger, and it was actually an actual spear point dagger. I've actually thought about doing it because in Michigan, double edge is actually one of the few things that's illegal to carry. So yeah, I'd love to. I could do one of those, and I can also do it with a false edge, even on like a swedge on the other side, so it mimics an edge. But yeah, oh no.
That clamp definitely has problems. That clamp's broken.
Better throw away that clamp. But I need the operator. It's more difficult to throw away the user. People ask questions. Not if you do it wrong. That is true. It's true. It's a new family show. Where it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be. It's family run. It's not family appropriate. My bourbon is empty and it's Smith ad. That's what dabs are for, though, right? So let's go see what else we have going on here. Because I keep looking at them. What is this?
Yeah, it's Nick Brasino's Big Daddy. Big Daddy Baja.
The one that he
He's
for all of his girls, and then
Yep. So we did two slightly shorter ones for his ladies, and this one is actually the max length I can fit in the heat treat oven. So this one is just shy of 27 inches long.
oh yeah, pretty much from the door
Yep.
to almost the tip, which I imagine is probably a good solid couple of inches like this in the back.
Nice.
And then there's this one. Oh. This one wants to. This one wants to chop something.
I would actually bring this side up to this side. But
That is a big boy.
Bring this side.
yeah, look at that. This can be mitigated. That's not go away with the rest of it. Yep. Yep. So I would definitely bring the other side up now. And then we can actually blend that with the Scotch-Brite when we get to that point.
Bring it to this point.
Yep, you want to make the lower side equal to the higher side.
So what about the other one over here?
The other one is for a customer who ordered several of these several years ago, actually, for his unit. And
The Marine guy?
yeah, yep. And so this one is for another friend of theirs. And it was really cool. He reached back out and asked if I could do it because it's an honor to be able to make them.
Mm-hmm.
You know? These are punch daggers.
Oh, is this Brian Wetterose?
This one's for Brian Wetterose.
I was gonna say he was like, "Oh, heck, the girls, I want one," and I was
Yep.
like, "I'm pretty sure you're the reason that this was even caught in my head in the first place."
Yep. So this is actually, it's not a true spear point. It's more of a drop point because I didn't want to do the spear point for this one. But yeah, actually, I just got back from the engravers. I'm waiting. I finally found 3/16 pins in the U.S. Every other copper pin I've ordered has been metric and too large, and it can't really drill this out anymore. That's been treated and tempered. So yeah, so it's just waiting on the pins to arrive, and we'll be able to put those handles on for you, Brian. But so yeah, this one's more of a drop point double edge.
May I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now I don't have as big hands, so I've been told. Apparently, but this, I mean, it's a little thick for me, but yeah,
Well, Brian's got older hands.
that's what I've been told. Apparently, you have large hands, and you know what they say about large-handed men? They need large-handled. They need large-handled knives.
Oh, okay.
Calm down. Big gloves.
And a big seat to put your foot.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll try for both feet this time.
All right, let's go check in on the comments real quick. So, Jeremy, there's a funny story actually that we like to talk about one of the first couple of times that Dan came over. Actually, well, not came over, but started coming back over. And the joke is we were outside. I don't know what we were talking about exactly, but we were all outside talking about something. And Dan's like, "Wow, this is a really weird conversation to come into." And Wallace just looks at him and says,
Here we just call them conversations.
"Yeah." So, yeah. When the because Jeremy Van Singel said that it's a family show, and when the comments no longer offend you, you're part of the family. And that's exactly it. When you realize that awkward conversations are just a thing that's going to happen here. And then Steve Perry said, it's illegal to carry daggers in Oregon. Single-edged swatch pocket push knife might be useful.
Let me see what I can do for you, Steve. Speaking with Stephen Miller, who's got huge hands.
It is 7 o'clock. Steve Harris says, alas, I have small hands.
He just likes big handles.
I was going to say, he likes really long handles.
That's right.
Really long, spear-ish handles.
They keep it in Damascus.
Yeah.
Which like the
say I actually really love food.
I was gonna say he's a man of taste.
That's right. Steve, I want to see that spear fit into the 97 steps, though. Just saying. If you know, you know.
I have to. Hey, that knife's on the ground. That's not where that goes. It's like
Now there's a knife problem.
there's 3 times this has been on the ground.
I call this a ground knife.
Ground knife.
There's a really good tooth one right here.
I will be back, ladies and gentlemen,
Okay.
gentlemen. Oh, Steve Perry says stick handle.
Leave me that one alone.
Sorry about my shoulder there, guys. All right, I will back. Does anybody want anything while I'm upstairs? No? Bourbon? Hot? Are you okay? Bad? You good? Well, not like okay.
You say that like I'm not in the room.
Are you okay? Or are you
I think some ice.
ice? I'm just gonna. I'll grab a big old cup of it. Okay. All right, ice, bourbon. Got it. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And I know the still shows that, but my eyes.
Yeah. Let me that for you. Okay. So here's the trick that I use to go to other. I had to learn the hard way. And so you don't have to get across. Okay, so when you're on here, I put one thumb against it, and then I also fork it like this, the bottom, and then I'll pull it through, and I'll thread it this way, and I'll pull it through, and then I'll flip it to the same thing. Because what I happen to realize is typically people don't put their thumb down here like there's someone else, or anything flexible. Yeah. So what happens is the body takes out a little bit. Now, it doesn't really matter right now. Yeah, that's what's happening. You're actually touching up here, which is reinforcing it. It goes down right by the base here. Everything's looking great on that. Yeah, absolutely. How you doing over there, Dan?
This has got a full distal paper, and it's a tiny blade, so it's a vibrating. So, right, but then I can't plant one. Yeah, I had to get this actually because I couldn't get it back out. I need to do it. Okay.
Yeah, full distal taper, stick your hands about that way. I had some of that same issue with the Gladius and the Fujio.
Oh, right. Yeah.
stage was so long. And that handle, the main button didn't go around into the crevice and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm back. Dan? Brian? I'm just going to pour some right in there, okay?
You take the bourbon tax already?
What?
Did you take the bourbon tax already?
Yes?
Okay.
All right.
Or must be followed.
Well, you know, I got to make sure that my dad's not poisoned. And just so we're sure. Here, hold on. Definitely not poisoned. All right. So, since I was gone, Dad's night. Dad's night says I'm drunk. Hey.
Oh,
The
nice.
camera's right here.
Who said that?
Des.
That's Deb
Yes.
with Debonair. Yeah,
Yes.
her
Okay.
profile.
The camera's right here. And then right here.
The camera right there.
Right there. And then
So I guess the
Randy
camera's
Cook-
right here.
Randy Cook says, I'm working on my blacksmith skills in a video game while watching you guys make blades in real life. Feels pretty meta. Funny enough,
It's
we're also running it off of Meta. So I mean that's even more meta.
What? Yeah, that's a good belt.
Randy's
I got
from
much to do on it, really.
the Engravers, right?
Yes, yep.
Randy Cook.
Randy's the one that likes to fondle all the blades before they get engraved.
Randy's super cool because she loves Final Fantasy and nerd stuff.
This is the medium Scotch plate.
All right. So you guys have no idea how absolutely, it almost feels like satin, actually, with how soft this is. I know you can kind of, see if this angle works a little bit better, pick up the Damascus wave pattern. It's kind of got like a, you can almost feel it. Maybe put it in a little closer. No,
Next is fine grit. The fine
that's
Scotch
so soft.
I know, right? And it's so much lighter too than it was before.
It was, yeah. Right, we're gonna take this back off. All right. So who do we visit first? Do you want that over there?
Yes, please.
Yours is the square one. I don't want to catch him. This is his. This is the square. This is a circle. You guys see Dan drinking a circle glass. It's not his. That's in my eyes now. Gotta catch Dan doing stuff. So what are we doing now?
So I'm doing the flats right now. You can kind of see I stopped right about here. So this was the fine, the medium grit, and up here is the fine grit. I'm not sure how well it translates
I was
on
gonna
camera.
say, it just kind of looks like, if you guys can tell, this part looks a little bit shinier, and this part looks just a little duller.
Yeah, we do it incrementally. After this, we have an ultra fine gray belt for that we'll use, and then we'll etch it.
So why not just go from like 400 to like a 220 or whatever the lowest one you would go, like an 80 grit? And why do it incrementally?
Because often it will, if you just went from like an 80 grit to like a 220 or a 400, you would actually have a lot of scratches left in it from the 80 grit, and it would take a long time to get those out with a 400 or a 220 even, and you would be heating up the blade a lot because the higher the grit, the faster the heat buildup. So if we go from an 80 to a 120, we can get rid of the use the 120 to get rid of the 80 grit, then I use the 220 to get rid of the 120. We're still removing stock, but less with each belt. And then when we go to Scotch-Brite, there's a lot faster heat buildup, but it's a polishing belt. So that's also why it's nice to have, whenever possible, like a speed controller, because you can control some of that heat by how fast the belt is moving. We'll slow it down as we go higher in the grits.
And if anybody has any further questions about that, you let me know and I will ask him. I think
we like questions.
I was going to say, we value ourselves as kind of a learning channel, and I don't know if you know this, but he loves people that like to learn.
Absolutely.
So ask as many questions if you're confused about literally anything.
Yeah, the buckets are not only to catch sparks, they're also to pull the blades off and be clean. And then each station has a towel, so a rag-ass towel at it, that we use to dry things off.
Water bucket. Dan does not like to take the lids off his water bucket, does he?
Yes, I know, but if you don't, then
There's a lot of things that
this is what happens.
Dan likes to throw his blades on the ground, too.
This is what happens when you take the water buckets off. The lids off the water bucket when you're grinding metal. We do like to put them on when we're grinding handle material, though.
Did you happen to get a hold of Wallace?
What's that?
Did you try to get a hold of Wallace?
I didn't check back. Though. I can check
That's
back.
fine. I just wanted to, I know he's normally here when we do the live, so I wanted to make sure he was doing good. Ooh, I was coming over to check on your guys' conversation. And
Well, we were just conversating a little bit, talking about handles. Got that cleaned up relatively well so far.
Brandy said, oh, never mind. Just kidding. What's going on with the comments? They're not showing anymore.
I just have a little coaster here so we don't have a wet bench.
This is just ice if you want any more.
Okay.
Hi, Jeremy. I see you. This is a square glass.
I'm so happy how this one's turned out.
Shh, don't tell Dan. Quick question for anybody that's watching. I know I'm still working on the flashing, but are you guys getting the clipping, like where it seems really almost stop motion-y?
We do that by this could be explaining because it's got a combination of flat and doubles. Yeah, that's what happens. Yep. Yeah, the annual thing is also by the action.
It's not ice. It's bourbon.
Yeah.
It's bourbon. I lied to everybody. I'm a liar.
That did not come out how I wanted it to come out.
Well, is that polished?
It's pretty polished.
What about, what's that oil?
Yeah, I'm gonna try the true oil on it.
Yeah.
See if that does anything. Usually, I can get a sense of it. I put a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you, Brandy.
Should
You
look
know?
a little bit more like that after the true oil, which ain't bad, really.
Yeah. That's
Not what I thought it was going to be, but also not too bad.
Yeah. So, Jeremy, all I'm hearing is that you're experiencing time skips right now. And it's not because of the it's not because of it's not because of the camera, it's because of the you took an edible. So time dilation is a
Just oiling my knife here.
your hands are so wet.
That's gonna look pretty cool, actually. It is acceptable.
Hi, Wallace. I said that really loud. Hi, Wallace. I was like right next to the microphone for that. Wally Bear, I'm making tacos for dinner tonight. If you want to come over after the live's over.
I just spent a little extra time with this one.
Extra, less time. You're doing less time with that one, aren't you?
Normally, I'm actually adding time with the individual belts.
Oh, with each belt, you're doing even more.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
So Dan, tell me about the stages of handle sanding.
Well,
I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna clip it to you
okay.
real quick.
Hey now.
And just kind of peel you off a little.
Right. So something reflects light, the smoother it is, right? That's why glass reflects light really well because it's super smooth. Yet we still have to shape these handles. So we shape it down using a higher grit, but of course that creates a lot of scratches and therefore it's not smooth, right? So we have to continue to go up in the grit progression. And grit progression is simply particles per inch, I think. So that's why, like, the higher the grit, the finer the sandpaper. Because if you've got a 2,000 grit, well, that's 2,000 particles per square inch. That's a lot. It's, very detailed. So what we do is we essentially sort of, what do they call it? The sanding ladder, right? We climb the sanding ladder where each grit is progressively finer and finer than the previous one. Therefore, we just start to remove the scratches, and it gets smoother and smoother and smoother. And in fact, one of the things that you can see, I've been experimenting a little bit with a mirror finish.
That's the camera and how it's
Okay.
gonna look. So
So you can kind of see on this side here is more of a brushed finish. And then on that side, I have the mirror polish.
that is very reflective.
Right. And this, I used a 12,000 grit whetstone and just kind of went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So this is the result of a 12,000 grit, 12,000 particles per inch. So it's super fine.
The highest that we use on the sanders?
Typically, the highest that we use on the sanders is the 220. But like we have, we also use the Scotch-Brite. So the Scotch-Brite, it's finer, but it's finer in a different way. It's more like steel wool. And so, but they do have, I have some belts over there that are 1,500 and 2,000 grit. So you can use them as high as you want. It just really depends on your application. So, yeah. But the idea is that the shinier you want it, the higher the grit you have to go, and you can't just jump there, because really what you're doing is you're filing down peaks. So if you went right from like a 120 to a 2,000, it would get just the peak of that groove, but wouldn't get down in. So you got to make the peaks smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until they're essentially gone. So that's how the sanding works.
And yeah, the same thing goes for, like what you were saying earlier about going through the levels of the different types of sanding belts. It's kind of the same thing with like the handle stuff.
Yeah.
Just in general, it's important to like lower the levels very, very, not quickly, but lower
Progressively.
the levels progressively.
Yeah.
So that you can.
And the hard part about, especially with handles, is there's not really a good way to know that you're done. So when you go from like a 220 to a 400, and you're on your 400, you think, well, did I get all the scratches out from my 220? Probably. And it just kind of takes some instinct and intuition.
answered when you go to the buffer.
Right. Oftentimes what happens is you'll notice some cloudiness or something like that. And then, unfortunately, you have to go back up to like a 220 grit and then go back down progressively. So it's kind of a hassle when you do that. But notoriously, this part and this part are the ones that get missed the most. At least,
right here and right here.
yeah, at least from my experience, because here you don't want to dip into you're hesitant because you don't want to dip into the blade, and here it's just, I mean, really, does anyone give enough attention to the tip?
No,
No,
not enough attention.
no. So yeah, this was supposed to be. Is there any red in this? Not really.
It's I don't know. I'm also partially colorblind.
Oh, that's right. That's
so,
right.
Yeah, I can't tell you. I can tell you there's blue.
Yeah. So I think
know what blue looks like.
I think this was red and blue, and I had.
Is there red in that?
Is there red in that?
Absolutely.
Oh, there is.
Is
Oh,
it
wait.
top?
Here we go.
Yeah, there's absolutely red in there.
Woo! Yeah, I think I was
If you want to call it
coming-
red, maybe maybe like a burgundy red, or
I think I was thinking that it would be more bright. And
Me too.
clear.
Me too. That's what I was hoping for,
Yeah.
but that's the other thing about this is that sometimes you just get what you get. You know, you can't really predict.
Right.
This other one I'm doing is a kind of a mystery handle for me, so we'll see what that ends up looking at. Yeah, the greenish one. Brian is haha. You can't hear anything he's saying because I have the mic and he doesn't have the mic. So this is Dan, and this is a stream takeover, baby. Yeah, taking over the stream. I wonder really how long it'll take. What's that?
Bullshit. Brandy Cook said that she's digging your mirror finish.
Oh,
little pin, and the dough.
That small
So what I
portion of
would
my
say
blade
would
took
be like
2
this.
days. That took 2 days.
It took 2 days to get the mirror finish.
That little tiny
Yep.
piece. on
So
one
just
side.
go ahead and make a dot right there.
Yeah, it's kind of
One dot.
Yep. Okay, so what that means
Yep.
is that we're going to probably come up about like this, and now divide that into thirds and find the center of each of those sections.
Right, and put my mosaic in the center,
Yep,
and my smaller pin below.
exactly. So we'll need to do. You're going to drill 3/16 holes, and the center one will boost up to 10 millimeter.
Right.
So does it mean that he has to go and look at handle material now, or is he?
He's going to drill the holes in his handle so that he can actually get it on the jig and do the double grinding.
So this has not been heat treated,
Not yet, no.
and why hasn't that been heat treated?
Because we've been rough profiling it. I didn't want to.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is why not heat treat it before you put pins and stuff in?
Because it's a pain in the butt to drill after it's been heat treated. You really you'll burn out a lot of bits. Even those tungsten carbide bits tend to break down if you're trying to drill heat treated and tempered steel. So we like to do it while it's still in an annealed state. Now we get these billets prepared for us from New Jersey Steel Baron, who I typically get most of my steel from, and they give us a prepared billet, and it's been really great in quality. So yeah,
I'm gonna measure that out, and then we're gonna drill for pins.
Yep, exactly. Yep. And actually, technically, we can heat treat after you drill the pinholes.
Correct. Right.
And I've got another one ready to go. So if we can get a couple ready to go, we'll be able to use the oven for that.
To get to this, everything drilled.
Let me know if moving the mic around helps with the sound quality, guys.
Yeah, and you can also look for handle material for that then too.
I'm very, very happy that the closed caption is actually working. Thank goodness. I am a person who can't watch anything without subtitles on it. So what are we doing over here, Brian?
All right, so I got to measure out right. what I'm doing, I'm going to do small pin. And then I got the Mosaic 10 millimeter pin with a deer head on it that will go in the center. And that will give it not just more stability with the handle, but it's more, I think, of a, cosmetic, cool looking, hey, that's cool looking type deal, right? So that's where we're at. So I just got to measure this out.
So what's important to look for when you're measuring where your pins are going to go?
Just measuring it out properly as far as even
Distribution of weight or distribution of leverage.
That would-
pressure, or, yeah.
that would be correct, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's a good way to put it. There we go. Yep. So that's going to be easy math. That's 3 inches. So my center would basically be that's a bit more than 3 inches.
How you doing, Dan?
So my center is going to be
I will not be putting the voice mic back on Dan because he'll sit there and talk about God knows what. Sorry. I didn't mean to have my mic magnetized.
That's right. It's not government work. So we're okay.
That's like my favorite. Good enough for government stuff.
Right.
Santa Claus is here. Hold on. I'll be right back, Brian. Do me a favor, Scott. Mom,
Yes?
Mom wanted to know if you were here.
What?
Mom wanted to know if you were here.
Yes,
So-
I am.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
That's
Okay, this one is ready for etching.
All right. One moment. I'm recording Brian doing that.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think I'm good to go there. Yeah.
So your big one, I'm assuming, is going to be your Mosaic.
Yep. The 10 millimeter Mosaic will go here, and then the 3/8 diameter will go there.
Are you going to do a lanyard on this one?
I'm not going to do a lanyard on it. No, no lanyard.
No, that's beautiful.
So,
Looks fantastic.
gonna roll that. Cool.
All right. I'm over here now. What? Oh, behind you.
Here, I'll let you hold it. But this is when we first started with the 80 grit to now.
All right. Start from the handle. So the thing about you definitely can't see the Damascus pattern here in the handle, but I'm hoping you guys might be able to pick up a pattern or some of the shadows or something. For any of you that have held like steel, this is so soft.
This right here, Dan.
This is the softest. I don't even know what I'm saying. So this is ready for etching. And what are you using for etching?
I am going to run it in the ferric chloride first for a couple of cycles, and then I am going to put it in a couple of coffee etches. Oh, thank you. To bring out some more contrast.
Okay, so what is the ferric chloride for?
No, the ferric chloride is going to give us our initial etch. And this is actually 50-50 ferric chloride and distilled water, or it was. Now it looks like sludge, but it's a mild acid. And before we do that, we always try and clean any debris or finger oils or anything like that off, because that can actually mask the etch, and you'll get a really weird textured etch. I'm only really concerned with the parts below the pinholes, because everything else is going to be covered by handle material. And we're going to do a quick test here for y'all. I got to grab, I'll reach past you here. All right, so we're just going to do like a 10 Mississippi etch here. I still have to get a new mount point for all of my etching tanks because we just moved the shop around. So it's going to be 1 Mississippi. Yes, for the 500th time. 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shall we do the reveal?
All right. And that's only 10 seconds, guys.
Let's look at the other side once, because you kind of get some interesting things going on from side to side here.
That deep, you can see that deep spot that we were talking about earlier is this wavy spot.
Yep, that's a nickel
right
vein.
here.
Yep, I'll bet you that's the NI 200 in the mix. So yeah, we're gonna let that sit for about 5 minutes, and we'll do that 3 different cycles, and then after that, it will go into the coffee etch overnight.
And what's the difference between the ferric chloride and the coffee etch?
The coffee etch we use
One's
instant.
made of coffee.
Thanks, Dan. You've been so helpful. Why don't you go over there and throw some knives on the ground?
Anyway, so the ferric chloride is actually like an acid. The coffee, actually, I found, I mixed 50-50 coffee with white vinegar, and it actually brings out more contrast in this particular steel, which is the Alabama Damascus. It's a high-carbon Damascus. I love their 416-layer redneck skin, which is what this is, and it just responds really well to a coffee etch. Different mixes respond to different things, and so it's really an experimentation process.
Am I ready to drill?
Mom has sent 7,000 comments.
Oh boy. Yes, you
Don't
Yep.
measure in inches. It's usually wrong. You need to quarter.
3/8.
Okay. No, 3/16. Here's a 3/16. Oh yeah.
Scott was twerking earlier. Scott was twerking. Scott, would you like to twerk again?
Sexy.
All right, that was just for Mom. I'm trying to angle them down with the holding things high, so thank you for the comment, Mom. I'm trying to hold them high because it limits the amount of flashing that happens. So I'm just going to be more cognizant about angling the camera downward. Mom says, yes, bitches.
Of course she does. Tell her we need a twerk master down here.
Yeah, we need the twerk master down here. You might as well come down and show Scott how to twerk.
We are at 7:37.
Awesome, okay.
Okay.
Would you like assistance? I can hold. I'll hold. I'll hold while you take pictures.
Yeah, I'm gonna send this to Jack. Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
All right, we're almost ready for a dunk.
No, I will not be getting Lennon. Absolutely not. Wallace is not here,
Yes, he fell asleep.
and that is fine.
Oh, is that his excuse?
He fell asleep the other Wednesday. When you were camping, he was supposed to be the camera dude. Throw it away.
Never got it around.
Yeah, and then we forgot how to work a camera and start a live because the very beginning of the last live was apparently you have to press the start button.
Yep, that was totally ID10T error on my part.
You know what the best part of this is that both of my parents work in the IT. Yeah, they work in the IT part of Corewell, but it's good. It's good. They know what's going on. You're breaking off glue.
I got a little.
Come check this out.
I got a little glue in the goo.
Check this out. I just
All right.
dunked it. You're gonna come over here.
I'm trying to find a place. Your elbow's in my way. Thank you, Dan. Oh my god.
Right?
All right, let's look at this. Just look at.
The other side's gonna be not quite the same since it's been against the.
That's fine.
But that still looks damn sexy.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
And that is for Jack Dawson.
Yep, this is actually for Jack. It's Memorial. And it's going to be getting these handles.
Honeycomb handle.
Yep. And the honeybee
Thank
pattern.
you, Muskoka Turner.
Absolutely.
John Bryant.
Yeah, my friend John Bryant did these custom for me. And so I've already got the pins laid out. And it's going to have 2 brass pins and a center mosaic.
Ew, damn goo. That's what Mom said.
Yeah. Man goo.
All right. Well,
That's it for those.
stop flashing.
Are those going to be available at the show, Dan?
Yes, they will, most certainly, if I get them etched and sheathed in time. That's
Are you
the
going to
real
put an
question.
edge on them too? Or are we just going to wait till somebody buys them and then be like, hey, I'll put an edge on them right now?
Yeah, I want to rush things. I don't want to be.
Sorry. All right. Let's see how Brian is doing on drilling his pinholes.
Drill, baby, drill.
Oop, nope, that one's too flashy. Oops, sorry. All right, we'll be back, Brian.
That's a thicker piece of steel.
Yeah. All right, how are we doing over here, Scott? How you feeling about that bevel grind?
Good.
Good?
Yep.
Looks beautiful. Very sharp.
We're going to etching before I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't see the hue. I know what you're talking about. I don't see the hue.
See, that's the other thing is I thought, well, maybe it's just that I got a little too hot when I was grinding it. And
No.
but you can definitely feel the pattern in it
Yeah.
because I left it in coffee for quite.
Yeah, I actually like that texture. But that is not giving me the off-color tones that would indicate like rust. And I know that you have a color issue, so I'm not telling you from my perspective.
Okay,
You're good.
that's good. Good.
Good.
I saw Who Framed Roger Rabbit at the Wealth Theater last night.
Mm. I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Not that bad. I just fun that way.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. All right,
Go for it.
I've got 3 that are ready for Baker's Marks.
There you go.
and sheaths, and I'll put an edge on. And
You
they'll
hear
be
that, Brandy? You got a couple other knives coming your way. Wow. Brandy, you got a couple other knives to fondle coming your way. No, he threw the paper towel up and he hit the ceiling and it dropped. He was trying to be cool, but he's
I wasn't trying to be cool. I was being cool. Because in the attempt, I got nothing.
yeah. That's what I thought. So, Brandy, sidebar, I hope that we can get some kind of sign
Yeah.
for custom engravers. Because as you can see, we have our tribal edge. We also have our Phoenix abrasives,
Yep.
but we would
John from Muskoka Turn said he's working on one, and I'm hoping. Yeah, Chris at Custom Engravers also said that he's working on one for me, so we can put it up here and we can actually shout them out even more.
Yeah, we put your guys' cards on the table, and so if we can have you guys put a banner up for us, or even a little sign, that would be great. I still want to see that D&D thing. That
What was his name? I'm drawing a blank now.
Gary Gygax.
Yeah, Gary Gygax.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm not a nerd, guys.
now
I'm not a nerd. I don't know anything about
You play
D&D.
one on TV.
I don't. Yeah. Well, I play one on lives. Brandy says she can't wait to get her cooties all over the new blades.
Hey, Randy cooties are good cooties. I don't like Randy cooties. I just realized, so we were talking about the sanding ladder before. So I went over here to look at what I had done. And I thought this was a 120 grit. This was an 80 grit.
This was an 80 grit.
So I shaped these handles with an 80 grit. And then I attempted to refine them using a 220. So I went from 80 to 220, which might be why this handle is a little
As
super smooth as it should.
Dogger,
yes.
I need a console.
Okay.
Which of
I'm
these?
gonna put you guys down for a second, so that I can screw this in, so that I
I'm
can.
gonna start one of these two, but I want to know which one is more comfortable in your grip, paper in reverse.
All right.
One of these two might be
I don't like this one.
Chain trait, yeah.
Yeah. In reverse, it's good. It's still a little thick for me, right through like this area. I don't have giant meat paws, so I mean it's still a little thick. And if you put handles on it, I feel like it probably won't be as comfortable to hold. This one I love.
I'm gonna grind that
This
one
one's
farther.
perfect.
Yeah, that one, right? That one's
Yeah,
gonna
this
be
one's
decent. This one I have to have a special jig set up. I'm not going to be ready to kind of around with tonight, so I'm gonna start this one.
Yeah, that one. This one needs like
A little more
just
of
a little.
oil in there.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at. Ooh, you blended that really well, Scott.
Go right ahead. Camera's right here.
So yeah, Scott's only got 4,000 more of these to do. So this is also pre-etch, and is it ready for test etch? Okay, do you want to do a test etch tonight?
Test edge, first edge.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, your test edge.
Test edge.
Hi, Aunt Beth.
Is it?
I am a
Beth
nerd.
is on?
Leave me alone. Yeah, Beth.
Hi, Beth. That one and this one.
All right. So that's going to. We have 13 minutes left.
Okay.
Scott's going to clean off the blade with the acetone to make sure that there's no residual oils, because I don't know if you guys heard earlier, but they can potentially like block the etching process. So he's cleaning off the blades really, really well. And then he's going to hook it up. And then dip it in. You want to do a 10 Mississippi for that one too?
Yeah, let's do a 10 Mississippi for that one. So
So 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8 Mississippi, 9 Mississippi, 10. So let's
All right,
go
let's see how it
ahead.
looks.
Oh yeah. Turn it around.
Turn it a little bit this way. Thank you. Just so we can get the light. And that is only 10 seconds.
All right, set the timer. 5 minutes. Good to go.
Let's see. Who is? I haven't looked at the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, pro tip.
Right here. I'll pound the boss man for a sign.
You can
Oh.
actually etch it too long. If you etch it too long, you will go from a full-size machete to a neck knife.
So
Learn from my mistakes.
We gotta stop everything.
stop everything.
Jeremy thinks I'm cool.
Don't stop.
So,
Jeremy, don't go
Don't.
with you.
Don't.
Jeremy,
Don't.
would
don't.
you like to go out sometime? Maybe. Just saying, you know.
I saw you over there with your PayPal. Come on.
Brandy says that she's gonna hound Boss Man for
Awesome.
a sign. Like I said, I don't even care if it's a poster board. You know, we try to give you guys a shout out at the end of every live.
We talk to all the shows.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We love shouting out
So,
all the people that we work with.
If we can like help you guys with your business, we absolutely want to. And I feel like having a banner here
Yeah.
would be
Awesome.
Is that the one that fondles my knives?
Yes.
Yes. Brandy is the one that fondles all of your knives.
And I kind of like it.
She's married. You leave her alone. What you got?
I was gonna say, now that I'm paying attention to chat, if anybody has any questions for me,
Now that there's 10 minutes left in the live,
yes.
there's only 10 minutes left. If you have any questions for Dan,
Dan,
specifically for Dan,
I'm here.
all right, why don't you knock it over?
I need to. It's hard to see me in all my beauty and glory. We gotta wipe that off a little
I'm
bit.
sorry, I can't help that. All right.
What did I do? I heard my name, I think. LOL.
I don't know.
What did you do,
What did I
Jeremy?
do? You exist.
You did the most important thing there is to do, which is calling you cool. And I am cool.
Yeah. Jeremy, don't tell him he's cool. He's not cool. All right.
Better get a refund for that payment.
Yeah. Does that money go into the shop? Does the money that you bribe other people to call you cool go back into the shop, or?
Well, it comes out of my sales, the discount sales that I do. That's really that is really out of my self-esteem budget. My personal self-esteem budget.
Less than 10. Less than 10. We got 8.
7, 6
8 minutes.
minutes.
Why don't you-
8:59. 8:58. Look at my wound, y'all. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
I fell on my skateboard. Said no 53-year-old ever.
That show fell on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. I was only going 10 miles an hour, and my hat flew off, and I stopped the skateboard,
Can
and
you hand me that when you're done?
I didn't stop.
The paper.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, guys. If you guys have any other questions before we start wrapping stuff up, then let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna let them kind of do their own thing for a couple of minutes.
Which did you say? If they got into a fight with a black guy,
That would be way
you know,
cooler.
you should have a better story than just like,
I
I
got
want my couch.
I was fighting a bear.
Something
Dan
more
was,
realistic.
Dan was fighting a bear.
Toilet? Ah! And you ride motorcycle. You can't keep the balance on a
Well,
skateboard.
he can ride a motorcycle, but clearly not a skateboard.
That bad boy. NSFW.
That is
All right. Can you hand me that real quick? My phone. What is that?
That
Timer.
is the timer for the acid etch. Let me get a couple of these down. There you go.
Got it over there.
Do a few dumps. Yeah.
Oh, wait, before you pull it out.
Oh yeah, the review. Okay, let's go ahead and lay it on the paper
Beautiful.
towel. That'll give us even a better angle. I'll take that from there. All right. Let me know when you're ready. I'll flip it.
Go ahead.
That is
Look at that
one
blade
gorgeous blade.
pattern.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right.
All right. So let's go ahead and
doing yours again.
not tonight. No, I want to let the oxides harden. Then I'll do a roll it. All right. There you go. Cool, cool.
5
What's
left.
your cover?
What's that?
What's your cover?
Perfect. All right, you know what? We could actually just wrap it right now.
Steve Perry says, lovely etch.
Yes, you're not gorgeous. We like some precious.
As always.
Yep.
And larceny. I'm just going to shove that right there for you.
All right, so
Let's
shall we gather on
turn it
the
this way. You guys got 5 minutes left.
That is dead, yes. Yep, sacrifice of a dead soldier.
Finish up what you guys are doing.
Yep, we'll go ahead and gather around.
I'm going to say, any last minute comments you guys have, make them now, because we're shutting it down. Yeah, or forever
Hold your blade.
Yeah, or forever hold your blade. I'm going to have a sip of Dan's.
From the guys that somebody was paying off. We know better than that.
All right, so we're wrapping up another Wednesday live. So tune in 2 weeks from now. We'll be doing this again. Just wanted to say thanks for joining us tonight, and love all the questions, love all the comments, love that people actually want to sign in and see what we're doing. This is one of my favorite days of the weekend, one of my favorite events for Tribal Edge, because I get to hang out with my peeps and make sure pointy lovelies. So just wanted to do a shout out to the scope turner, John Knight, who does all my custom handles, along with Dan, who does some of them as well. Also wanted to shout out to Custom Engravers for all their amazing work with our Maker's Marks and working with us on custom engraving as well. Laser etching, if you need anything laser etched, they can do just about anything. Phoenix Embrace, Mike Magnuson, who I get all my belts from, and sadly eventually have to get more because I have to throw away dead belts, which is hard for me. Alabama Damascus also want to thank you for all the quality steel that we get from you. Redneck Skin is still my favorite pattern, but I love that new wave pattern that you have.
That new wave pattern is nice.
Yep. And we also have, if you need your leather work done, I don't do leather sheaths anymore. I send them off to Cinder Rose, and those guys do amazing work. So check them out. I think we're linked to them through Tribal Edge. Check them out. Check out their work. They don't just sheaths; they do all sorts of stuff. They're currently doing a messenger bag for my wife Tasha. And as always, a larceny, just in case someone happens to be working there. we would love to talk with you.
Yeah, I would love to talk to you about a sponsorship.
That's right.
We take larceny in payments.
That's right. You know. But anyway, guys, thank you once again. It's amazing to have people who are interested in what we do, and we love you for it. So until next time, stay bladed.
Does everybody want to show what all they finished up after the beginning and then the end?
Oh, sure.
And
Yeah, I'll
then,
take mine down here.
You
And
guys can go ahead right in front of the camera. This is what you guys are looking at.
okay.
So make sure you look here when you go to.
This is the blade for my good friend and brother, Jack Dawson, down in Memphis. We got the first etch done tonight, so that's awesome. And I will turn it over to the rest of my peeps.
I got these. I got these two done, but also this was the one that I wanted to show because I got that done last time. Yeah, so these two I got done tonight. This shaping of the handles.
No, it's you. It's yours. Santa Claus, get over here.
It's another Damascus.
Now, how many are you doing of these anyway?
A few.
A few.
A couple.
Maybe one or two.
A few.
Maybe
thousand.
one or two.
Brian?
And then we just got this rough cutted, smoothed out, drilling holes. Got one more hole, do a 10 millimeter here for a larger pin, and then she'll be ready for heat.
Absolutely.
And then we'll bevel, and then we'll handle, and whew, then we're bladed.
Here we are.
Rock on.
And as always, I'm here, literally just trying to like be the buffer between
Wrangling the
them
Smiths.
and you. So,
Guys, have a great night. See you
thank
next
you
time.
so much. Stay bladed.
Stay bladed.